Barça! Barça! Barça!
Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. And here today we are going to be going through the latest Barcelona news in terms of transfers, ingoings and outgoings. Also the start of our pre-season, that game against Tottenham, 2-2 draw which we won on penalties, and also what is to come in the next few weeks. All of that and more coming up. Let's do this. So just to go back to that game which happened in the early hours of Sunday morning, especially where I was, the game kicked off at 4 o'clock in the morning. But Barcelona 2-2 on the night. We won on penalty kicks in the end. And I think it was a very interesting performance. I think pre-season, especially the first game of pre-season, you can't really read an awful lot into this. Before this game, Tottenham had already played one game, so they were slightly ahead of their preparations than we were. And it was quite clear to see in some of the defending more than anything else that we still were getting up to speed with the new season, of course, players coming back from holiday, really settling in. But I think the new signings look really, really good. You know, Malcolm had some good moments. We're going to talk, of course, about Arthur. But Munir El Haddadi, a player returning from loan, of course, this season, opened the scoring. He was assisted there by Rafinha. Nice little cushion header. Munir coming in at the back post. A decent finish there from very close range. Also, a quick word on Munir himself. It does look as though he will be staying at Barcelona this season. Valverde has agreed to that. He's happy to have him in the squad. Whether or not Paco will leave, we'll have to wait and see. But I think that's a good move. I personally would keep Munir in the team. He's a very flexible player. He can play anywhere across the front three. He does get you goals. You've seen that in the past. Last season for Alaves, he had a very, very good season in La Liga. More experience under his belt. And he's still a young guy. He's still got a lot of potential. And I do still believe in him. And good to see him getting a goal there against Tottenham. But it was the second goal, really, which captured everybody's imagination, which really got everybody well and truly hyped on Arthur. And the thing about it is, as good as that goal is, that's not even why he's there. He has even more quality to his game than goals like that. But it was absolutely sensationally taken. It was on the edge of the box. He just gets it out of his feet. He sets himself. And it is a wonderful finish, whether that's pre-season, normal season, Champions League final. Wherever you do that, that's a great goal. And I was really, really impressed with Arthur, not only in that goal, not only in that instance, but right throughout his game. His quality of passing, his calmness on the ball, how he orchestrates that midfield. He really did look a very good player. Something that, of course, we have been desperately lacking. Could this man now be the answer to our midfield problems? That's what we've all been hoping. We can't, of course, assume that he is going to be just on the back of one pre-season friendly, but it is certainly a very, very good start to Arthur's Barcelona career. In the second half, sort of last 15 minutes, we did start to fall apart a bit at the back. There was two very, very scrappy goals in very quick succession as well. Heung-min Son scored for Tottenham. It was bubbling around the box. There was Silesen out of his goal. There was a few defenders on the line, and it was very, very similar actually with George and Kudu's goal just a few minutes later. Tottenham getting themselves back in the game. Possibly they had a bit more legs as the game went on. Like I say, they were in front of us in terms of their preparations, but it did then go to penalty kicks. There was a good few young players as well, which I have to mention, that came on in this game and really, really impressed. Andre Gomez and Denis Suarez both went off injured in that first half. I'm going to come on to that in just a minute. Andre Gomez is subbed off. Puig came on and he was really, really impressive, I thought, right throughout the game in the way that he played. Very good signs for him in the near future. But in terms of penalties, we scored absolutely every one of our penalties. 5 out of 5. Malcolm scoring the decisive penalty, and it was actually one missed penalty on the Tottenham side, which gave us the victory in our first pre-season game. Up next is Roma. A good start here against Tottenham. Some good young player performances, and Arthur really looks the real deal. And just to give you an update then on those injuries that I did mention, guys, Andre Gomez and Denis Suarez both went off in that first half. Both suffered injuries. Denis will be out for 3 weeks with his injury, but Andre Gomez, much more seriously, will be ruled out now for 2 months of action. And that could be very, very detrimental to our summer plans for him. It means extremely unlikely now that we are going to be able to sell him this summer, especially when you consider that the deadline deadline for Premier League clubs is in just 10 days' time. After that, they'll not be signing any more players. And you know what football is like these days. It's all about the present. It's all about the now. You want to bring somebody in who can make an immediate impact. You don't really want to be signing somebody who's sidelined with a pretty serious injury. So despite the club wanting to move Andre Gomes on, it hasn't really happened this summer. We didn't move quick enough. And I think it really goes back to the point that we've waited far too long to really start selling these guys. We should have been doing this at the start of the summer. We should have been, while the World Cup was going on, starting to drum up some offers. We didn't do that. We've waited too long to shift some of these players, and now Andre Gomes is very, very likely to be a Barcelona player once again next season. One player, though, that is leaving the club will be Lucas Digne. He has been given permission from the club to travel back to Barcelona to complete his exit from the club, and both the club itself and the player have officially confirmed that he will be leaving Barcelona this summer. It's extremely likely that he is going to be joining Everton officially in the coming days, and the transfer fee for this one will be between 15 to 20 million euros, according to multiple sources on that one. And it's a very, very similar fee, really, to the fee that we did pay to PSG to bring him in back in 2016. So we're not going to make a big loss on Lucas Digne. He came in, he tried his best. You could never really doubt his commitment, but he never really tore up any trees. He never really massively impressed on any given game. And it is expected that either Marc Cucurella or Miranda will take his place in the first team squad this season. We are going to give an opportunity to one of those players in Barcelona B, and for me, that's massively encouraging. Now on to another player that looks absolutely certain to leave Barcelona this summer, and that is Yerry Mina. And if he is going to leave, it is likely to be for a very big profit too. But the big question is, where exactly is he going to end up? Because right now, he is not short of interest at all. The Premier League looks an extremely likely destination for him this summer. A host of clubs really interested in the Colombian after a very impressive World Cup showing from him. Man United, Wolves, Liverpool, they've all been linked with him over the past few weeks. But just like Lucas Digne, Everton right now are the best option for the player and for Barcelona. Everton reportedly are offering between 25 to 30 million euros for Yerry Mina, and it could well be that while we were discussing the Lucas Digne deal, the ins and the outs of that, Yerry Mina may have been brought up in those discussions, and potentially we could have a double deal going to Everton. Digne and Mina both look likely to leave. Then there's Alex Vidal, who has spoken about in many videos now, saying that Barcelona want to sell him. They've been trying for so long now to get him out of the club and likely to send him back to his former club Sevilla, and that finally looks like happening now. He'll be heading back to Sevilla this summer for a deal worth around 9 million euros, which is a significant loss really on the fee that we paid Sevilla for him back in 2015 when we had that transfer ban. He waited those months to play, but unfortunately for Vidal, it just hasn't happened. We paid around 18 million plus about 4 million in bonuses for Vidal. We're going to sell him this summer for about 9 million, and he is likely to be announced at Sevilla in the coming week or so. Everything is agreed between the player and the club. Barcelona have accepted that offer, and Vidal will be moving on very soon. And finally, I do want to talk about potential incomings and basically a player that will not be joining Barcelona this summer, and that is Adrien Rabiot. We've heard a lot of news right throughout the summer that we're tracking the PSG midfielder, that we made a lot of approaches. His contract is expiring next summer right now, and we were talking extensively with Rabiot's entourage to try to get him to sign for Barcelona this summer, but right now it appears to have hit a very dead end. And we all know really that pursuing PSG players is a very difficult task for a number of reasons. I'm not really sure we felt the need to go down this road. We knew that it was going to be tough. We knew they were on a lot of money. We knew they would demand a big transfer fee. So I'm not really sure why the club got bogged down with this player. But they did try and get Rabiot. It hasn't really come off. The PSG player now looks like signing a new contract. And just like we said at the start of this sort of dealings, maybe Rabiot was always just using our interest to boost his contract demands with PSG. Maybe he just used our interest to get exactly what he wanted. He will now likely sign a new deal, stay at PSG, and it's another midfielder really that's just evaded our grasp. We didn't get our hands on Rabiot. There was a report this morning linking us to a move to Thiago, but I just don't see it happening. The board do not want to go down the Thiago route. We tried for Rabiot, that hasn't happened. We tried for N'Golo Kante, that didn't happen. Of course, Willian now is dead and buried, that one as well. Now we've got our hands on Malcolm, is not going to be happening. I wouldn't expect too many more arrivals. That's the way I see it right now. Barcelona have done their business quite early. Long late, Arthur came in. We got Malcolm out of the blue. And I think right now Valverde is assessing his options. He's looking at the younger players. He's looking at players coming back from loan. And of course, our priority still has to be shifting those players on, getting the likes of Mina sold, Vidal as well, getting the most we can get for those players. And then if we have a lot of money, maybe we'll go out back into the market and see what we can do. But as of right now, guys, that is all that is going on. I will try to get the videos to you much more frequently in the coming weeks, guys. They will be back. Do not worry about that. Thank you, as always, for your incredible support. Please do leave your thoughts in the comments down below. What did you think of that friendly against Tottenham? What can you take from that game? And what do you think about these players? Very, very close now to leaving Barcelona. Should they be replaced? And if so, who by? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I will see you soon. But until then, as always, Visca El Barça.